Have you ever noticed that despite eating what the world calls a healthy diet, you still find yourself waking up with stiff joints, a foggy brain, or a level of exhaustion that feels like you are walking through chest-deep water? Maybe you have even noticed your digestion just is not what it used to be, or perhaps you are dealing with that nagging weight around your middle that seems to stay no matter how many walks you take. We are often told that fruit is the ultimate health food. The more the better, right? But what if I told you that for those of us over the age of 60, certain fruits are actually working against us? What if some of your favorite sweet treats are silently putting a massive strain on your pancreas, leading to inflammation that rots your energy and health from the inside out? It is a scary thought, but it is one we need to talk about because your health and your independence depend on it. It might not just be aging that is making you feel this way. There could be a specific daily habit or a few specific fruits in your bowl causing your discomfort. These are foods that almost everyone thinks are harmless, but for a senior body, they can be a hidden culprit behind blood sugar spikes and pancreatic fatigue. In this video, we are going to uncover the 3 fruits that may be secretly harming your pancreas and show you exactly what to eat instead so you can regain your strength, reduce that inflammation, and feel like yourself again. By the time we are done today, you will have a clear roadmap of what to keep and what to swap, helping you protect your internal organs and keep your energy levels steady all day long. Before we jump into these surprising culprits, if you care about staying healthy, mobile, and independent as you age, consider subscribing to our channel and turning on those notifications. We share the kind of senior health tips that doctors often overlook in those short 15-minute appointments. And let me ask you a quick question because I love knowing who I am talking to. Are you watching us from the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, or somewhere else? Drop a comment below with where you are from. I am always so curious to see how far our senior health community reaches, and it warms my heart to see us all supporting one another. Now, let's talk about why this matters so much for us as we get older. Your pancreas is a small but mighty organ tucked away behind your stomach. Think of it like a hardworking factory manager. Its job is to produce insulin, which is the key that unlocks your cells so they can take in sugar for energy. When we are young, that factory is efficient and fast, but as the decades pass, the factory can get a little tired. The machinery does not run as smoothly as it once did. When we flood our system with certain types of sugar, even natural sugar from fruit, we are forcing that tired factory manager to work overtime, night and day, without a break. Eventually, the factory starts to fail, leading to insulin resistance, inflammation, and a host of health problems that we often mistake for just getting old. But remember, growing older does not mean giving up. It means using smarter strategies to support the body you have. The first fruit we need to discuss might be sitting in your pantry right now, and you probably think of it as a convenient, healthy snack. I am talking about dried fruits, specifically things like raisins, dried cranberries, and dates. Now, don't get me wrong, a grape is a wonderful thing, but when you remove the water from a fruit, you are essentially concentrating the sugar into a tiny, potent package. Imagine you are eating a handful of raisins. It is so easy to eat 20 or 30 of them in a minute, right? But would you ever sit down and eat 30 whole grapes in one sitting? Probably not. When fruit is dried, you lose the volume and the hydration that helps your body realize it is full. What happens inside your body when you eat these concentrated sugar bombs is quite dramatic. Because the water is gone, the sugar hits your bloodstream almost instantly. For a senior pancreas, this is like a sudden fire alarm going off. Your pancreas has to pump out a massive amount of insulin to deal with that spike. Over time, these constant spikes can lead to what doctors call pancreatic exhaustion. It is like trying to run a vintage car at 100 miles per hour every single day. Eventually, something is going to break. Many of my clients report feeling their legs feel heavy like lead or experiencing a sudden afternoon crash after having dried fruit in their oatmeal. That is your body telling you it is overwhelmed. If you have been struggling with swelling in your ankles or a feeling of being constantly puffed up, these concentrated sugars might be the reason. Instead of reaching for the raisins, I want you to try something much kinder to your system. Reach for fresh berries like blueberries, raspberries, or strawberries. These are lower in sugar and packed with fiber and antioxidants that actually help fight inflammation rather than causing it. It is not too late to make a change, and your pancreas will thank you for the relief. Even just swapping your morning dried cranberries for a handful of fresh blueberries can make a world of difference in how your joints feel by lunchtime. Moving on to the second fruit on our list, and this one often surprises people because it is so synonymous with health and tropical vacations. We are talking about high fructose tropical fruits, specifically mangoes and very ripe bananas. Now, I know a mango is delicious and a banana is the world's most convenient snack, but as these fruits ripen, their starch converts into simple sugar. A very ripe spotted banana has a much higher glycemic index than a greener one. For those of us over 60, our bodies handle these massive hits of fructose differently than they used to. Fructose is a unique kind of sugar because it is primarily processed in the liver. When we eat too much of it, it can lead to a condition called fatty liver, which sits right next to your pancreas and causes systemic inflammation. Think of it like this. If your liver is overwhelmed, it starts to create a traffic jam for your entire metabolic system. This traffic jam leads to inflammation that can flare up in your knees, your hips, and even your lower back. I remember a gentleman named Arthur who came to me complaining of terrible hip pain. He thought he needed surgery. It turned out he was eating 2 very ripe bananas every single morning because he thought he needed the potassium for his heart. We swapped those for a green apple and some avocado, and within 3 weeks, his hip pain had decreased by half. He wasn't losing his mobility because of age. He was losing it because his body was inflamed from the constant sugar load. Science tells us that high fructose intake can actually damage the beta cells in the pancreas, which are the very cells responsible for making insulin. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Investigation found that excessive fructose can lead to the accumulation of fat in the trunk area, which is the most dangerous kind of fat for your heart and pancreas. It is not about never eating a mango again, but it is about timing and portion. If you love these fruits, have a very small amount and pair them with a healthy fat or protein, like a few walnuts or some plain Greek yogurt. This slows down the absorption of sugar and protects your pancreas from that sudden rush. It is all about giving your body what it needs and avoiding the sneaky things that cause harm. If you are finding these tips useful so far, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps us reach other seniors who might be struggling with these same issues without knowing why. And if you haven't yet, do subscribe because we have so much more to share about how you can thrive in your golden years. I hope you are taking notes because this next one is perhaps the most important of all. The third item isn't just one fruit, but a way of consuming fruit that many of us were raised to believe was the gold standard of health. I am talking about fruit juices and canned fruits and syrup. You might think a glass of orange juice in the morning is the best way to get your vitamin C, but for your pancreas, that glass of juice is a nightmare. When you juice a fruit, you remove the fiber. Fiber is like a seatbelt for sugar. It slows down the digestion and ensures the sugar enters your bloodstream at a safe, manageable pace. Without fiber, that juice is essentially a soda with a few vitamins in it. Imagine your bloodstream is a highway. Whole fruit with fiber is like a car driving the speed limit. Fruit juice is like a race car speeding through a school zone. Your pancreas has to react instantly and forcefully to stop that sugar from damaging your blood vessels. Over time, this constant emergency response causes the pancreas to become scarred and less effective. This can lead to a cycle of feeling hungry all the time, even right after you have eaten. Have you ever noticed that after a sweet breakfast, you are starving by 10 in the morning? That is the insulin roller coaster. For seniors, this roller coaster doesn't just affect hunger, it affects our balance and our cognitive clarity. A sudden drop in blood sugar after a juice-induced spike can leave you feeling dizzy or confused, which is a major fall risk. Canned fruit is often even worse because it is frequently peeled, removing the fiber-rich skin, and then submerged in heavy syrup. Even the ones that say they are in their own juice are often highly concentrated. It is like pouring fuel on a metabolic fire. If you are dealing with chronic fatigue, or if you feel like your memory isn't as sharp as it used to be, take a look at your liquid sugar intake. Instead of juice, eat the whole orange. You get the vitamin C, the hydration, and the fiber that protects your organs. It is a simple swap, but it is one of the most powerful things you can do for your long-term health. Now, I know this might feel a bit unsettling to learn. You might feel like everything you thought was healthy is actually a problem, but please remember that knowledge is power. Now that you know, you can make these simple, small changes to protect yourself. You don't need to overhaul your entire kitchen tonight. Maybe tomorrow morning you just choose a green apple instead of a glass of juice. Maybe next time you go to the store, you pass by the dried fruit aisle and head to the frozen berry section instead. These small tweaks add up to giant strides in your freedom and your health. To recap what we have learned today, we want to be very careful with dried fruits like raisins and dates because they are concentrated sugar bombs. We want to limit high fructose tropical fruits like mangoes and very ripe bananas, opting instead for lower sugar options like berries or citrus. And finally, we want to avoid fruit juices and canned fruits that have been stripped of their protective fiber. It is about moving away from the things that cause spikes and inflammation and moving toward whole, fiber-rich foods that nourish your body without overtaxing your organs. I know that getting older can be hard. I know there are days when the aches in your joints or the tiredness in your bones makes you want to just sit down and give up. It can be scary to feel like your body is changing in ways you can't control, but I want you to hear me when I say this. You are not alone, and it is absolutely not too late to turn things around. Your body is incredibly resilient. Even after decades, it is still trying to heal, still trying to keep you moving, and still trying to support you. All we have to do is give it the right fuel and the right care. Growing older is inevitable, but growing weaker is not. By making these smarter choices, you are taking charge of your future. You are choosing to stay independent. You are choosing to be able to play with your grandkids, to walk in the park, and to enjoy your life without being sidelined by preventable pain. Every small step you take, every better food you choose is a victory. One meal at a time, you are strengthening your pancreas, your heart, and your spirit. I would love to hear from you now. Which of these 3 fruits surprised you the most? Have you noticed a difference in how you feel when you eat certain foods? Or maybe you have a question about a fruit I didn't mention. Share your story or your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one of them, and our whole community benefits when we share our experiences. We are all here to learn from each other. If this video helped you or opened your eyes to something new, please hit that like button. It truly means a lot to us, and it helps the YouTube algorithm show this video to other seniors who might need this information today. And if you haven't already, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell. We have so many more science-backed insights coming your way to help you thrive, stay strong, and live your best life. If you are still with me and you are determined to take control of your health starting today, type a number 1 in the comments to affirm it. It is a simple way to commit to yourself and to this community that you are choosing health. Keep taking those small steps for your well-being. They really do add up to a life of freedom and energy. Stay strong, stay healthy, and remember that your independence is worth every small change you make. You have the power to protect your health, and I am so proud of you for being here and taking this time for yourself today. I will see you in the next video.